Hi, Biz Besties, and welcome to another session of Superpowers with Women. Today, I'd like to introduce you to Vicky. This is the first time I'm introducing Vicky, and I really would like to let everybody know about the courage to step up and actually speak in something like this, because it's not easy. And I really would like to thank you, Vicky, for trusting me and stepping up to share with me your superpower. What would you like to share with us? What is your superpower? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, thank you, Nicole, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. It's actually more of a problem to get me to stop talking than actually start talking. It seems to be my forte. I'm Vicky. My business is Seven Ladies Empowerment, and my superpower, I feel, is that partly that firstly that I'm a woman, and we all are super women because we are women. But I feel that I can, when I'm speaking to my friends, people, I can just see and hear the layers and layers and layers of conditioning that we are all under, and I'm working on my own, but the conditioning that we have, that we constantly put ourselves third, fourth, fifth, sixth, we very, very rarely first or second, and that we seem to always need to get permission to do things for ourselves, get permission, whether it's from our immediate selves, even from ourselves, to do things for ourselves. And that one of the examples that I was saying to someone the other day, a friend of mine actually said that her husband lets her go to the gym, and I'm like, oh, I just died inside a little bit, because we are our own people outside of who we are in relation to other people. We constantly are labelled someone's wife, someone's mother, someone, but we are people just as we are, and we are perfectly worthy, entitled to live our lives our way. We do not need anybody's permission to live our life.
Do you think we're our own harshest critics at setting that conditioning up, that we allow ourselves to be labelled?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yes, and that comes down to the conditioning, because often, and so many women I've spoken to don't even realise that they are labouring under this conditioning, that yes, we do allow it because we don't know that there's another way. We don't know that we even often have the option to say, no, that doesn't suit, no, I don't want to, no, I want to live my life like this. We don't. It's like the fish in water saying, what is this ocean you speak of? It is so pervasive in our life, we don't even realise that it's happening. And so, yes, we are guilty of putting it on ourselves, because we've not realised and not been taught that there is another option, that we do have options to live our lives, and we are absolutely entitled to live our lives the way we want.
So on the other hand, what you're speaking of, what does that look like? What is that reality? What is the ocean reality? What does that look like for people when they've stopped labelling themselves certain labels?
When they've got out from under the conditioning, they live their life of their bliss. They fill themselves up, fill their cup with whatever lights them up, and they don't feel guilty about it. It is actually, and I like to think of it, you're actually helping humanity. You're actually helping the woman who can't speak up for herself by raising your vibration to as high as it possibly can be, by doing whatever it is that lights you up every day, living the way you want, doing your bliss, being with people who fill you up, filling your cup with whatever it is that it takes. By doing that, your vibration flows out into the collective, and we all feel it. So if you're with a woman who hasn't quite got it in her to speak up for herself or do that for her, by being with a high vibe person or a light person, it actually builds them up a bit. So I'd like to think that we're obliged to fill our cup and raise our vibration, because it helps everybody, all of humanity, but particularly the people you come into contact with in your daily life. So to me, it looks like being happy. Like, none of us are perfect. We all get the irrits in traffic. We all, get the irrits about things in our lives. But if you can I like to think of 100 points. If you can begin and end the day with your 100 points intact, that you've, maybe lost a couple because you've got annoyed, or but stay at 100 points and even finish higher than 100 points, that you haven't dimmed your light, or you haven't given away your essence in situations where you perhaps could have kept it into yourself. That it looks like to me that living your life your way.
So what are some of the things that we can do to fill our own cup up? Because for some people, that idea actually is a new idea to them. It's that they're so busy and so full of the have-tos and what they have to do to get through their day, that filling their cup up feels like just another thing they have to do.
Well, if you yes, there are responsibilities and obligations, but within those, you can and do have the capacity to ask for help. I can't do it all. I shouldn't be expected to do it all. Can you help me? Can you do that while I just go and lie down or read, or have an hour to myself? You can ask for help. It's not a weakness to ask for help in any capacity, but especially when it comes to self-care, because if you buckle, you're no good to anybody at all. So and you can do just simple things. And I know it can be daunting. I'm not saying I'm perfect for it a second, but it can be as simple as where you would normally say yes, just stopping, taking a few deep breaths and saying, no, thank you, or no, I don't want to. And just once, just try it once. I don't want to do that, thank you. Whatever it is. And then, yes, I know you might die inside a little bit, but then walk away. Just try it once. And if you do it once and the world doesn't end, that makes you just that little bit stronger to say no, perhaps the next time, or to put boundaries up that don't let people suck your energy. That's the quickest way to diminish yourself, is being around energy vampires. They take, they know that you feel good, so they suck away your energy because it builds them up. And just putting that mental boundary around yourself, so that even if you are in your obligations and your responsibilities, that they're not draining your energy because you've put your boundary up. And yes, you might have to do it, but do it with as good the best grace you can, until you can either get away from it or ask for help, or just stop doing it altogether if you're in the position to say, no, I don't want to do that anymore. But taking the time to realise that you are actually worthy of being happy. That's probably the starting point, is you are worthy of being happy and living a happy life. It's not your job to be everything for everybody. It's your job to be everything for you.
So we can't physically be happy all the time as much as we want to do that. And we are, as I said before, so busy, and we set ourselves up to constantly be busy because sometimes it's actually serving us to be busy than just to relax and fill our cup. What is it that's the first thing that we can do before we say, if we're not courageous, or we're just not ready to say no, or I need help? What is something before that we can recognize in ourselves that we actually need to start saying no? We need to start creating boundaries. We need to actually look at self-love. What is that one thought process that we could put in our mind to actually start us on this journey?
Well, I think that the quickest way to realise is to tap in, to listen to your body. If you're in a situation where you are going to say no, yes, when you really want to say no, your body will tell you, and just stop and listen to that. First, your intuition will never ever let you down. And if your body is screaming or even subtly saying to you, you're losing energy here, it's stopping. And even at the beginning of the day, breathing in whatever you call, source, and whatever energy, or, God, whatever word you want to put on it, breathing that in and empowering yourself with that energy to start with. From the second you wake up, just or ask, if you believe in guides, ask guides, help me, how can I be the best person I can be today? How can I help me live my life, basically, or whatever question you want to ask. But ask for guidance or listen to your intuition, and it won't let you down. But yeah, listening to your body, listening to what your gut is telling you, because if you constantly go against your gut feeling, or whatever your intuition, guides, whatever you want to call it, you're constantly saying, I'm not worthy, give me, and the universe will give you more and more situations to prove that, because that's what you're putting out there. If you can just stop and think, yeah, I am worthy, I am deserving, and then that just ever so slightly changes your vibration. And I think getting in tune with yourself is probably the most fundamental thing you can do, and listening to your body and listening to your intuition to stop that constant leaking of your energy to people and situations.
How, as women, can we help other women feel worthy?
We can stop tearing each other down for a start, as we said before. We just like, I like to think, imagine if we could all 3.7 billion of us, or whatever there is in the world of women, and that if we could leave our house every day knowing that the way we present is for us and us alone, not for anybody else, and that we walk out that door knowing that the entire sisterhood has our back. That's the biggest thing we can do for each other, is to stop adding to the what the constant conditioning and the way society has been for eons, where we've always been told we're wrong, or we shouldn't be doing this, shouldn't be doing that. Stop contributing to that by the judgment of each other. Fundamentally stop judging yourself. You are who you are. You are the way you are for a reason. Yes, we can all make improvements here and there, but the way we are right now is exactly how we are meant to be, and there's nothing wrong with us, absolutely nothing wrong with us as we are now. And if we can just accept that and embody that and think, I'm okay, I'm okay. And I know we get external opinions from other people, but they're just opinions. They are not us. Those people have seen aspects of us when they're not. Only we know the real us. And if we can let go of our own judgment and the perceived judgment that we think people think about us, which we have no idea what other people think about us, even if they tell us, it's still only an opinion. It doesn't diminish who we are or increase or decrease our value. We are of value because we are here. And the biggest thing we can do is accept ourselves and accept every other woman for who she is, and let her do her life. You do you, I'll do me, and just leave each other the hell alone.
Yeah.
And support one another. That old adage, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, is probably the best mantra to live by. If you've got no idea what it took someone to get out of bed that morning, leave them alone. If you can't be kind, don't say anything.
And so the thing that always resonates with me, with what you're talking about, it's not my business what anyone else thinks of me,
yes,
either.
Absolutely.
It takes a little bit of self-responsibility for us to feel good about ourselves. From a place of where, how can we change the conditioning that we've been under right now? Like, what can we do from where we are right now?
Firstly, sorry.
Yeah, no, keep going.
But recognise that it is conditioning. When this little seed in you thinks, this is not right, why, I don't like this, why is it like this? That's probably your intuition saying that it isn't right, and that it's not you, it's all the stuff that's been put on you your whole life that you've got to dig your way out of. And it's, I'm not saying it's easy, but I've had a whole life of living with a, not in my married life, but when I was growing up with a seriously misogynistic, chauvinistic father. He made me iron his shirt once. His mum wasn't home. And I thought, and another time I had to get his lunch. I actually said to him, get it yourself. And I don't know if I got a belting for that, but why, because I was female, did I have to do that? And I've rallied against that my whole life. And I've watched it. I've watched women in my life just be negated because they were women. Doesn't matter what powerful, wonderful things they were doing. They were just negated because they were women. And it made my blood boil, and it still does.
So you would very much resonate with this year's International Women's Day theme, which is generational equality, because I think hopefully as generations we're getting better at what you're talking about, but we still have a way to go. And how do we bring that into our life to change the past generations and what they think is acceptable into going forward?
Well, I think, but calling it out, if you see something that you think's, not okay, call it out. Takes a strong, that's not easy to do either. But I think the time of saying, that's, letting it go is over. I think even the smaller things contribute to a bigger culture of inequality, because those things aren't called out. So people think, I've got away with that. I'll do something, more. And it just keeps going. I think we need to call it out. And with the women supporting one another, can you imagine the energetic force? And it's not force as in power over, it is like an energetic, not shield, just a presence, an energetic presence of all of us together, united together, how that we would be unstoppable. And I'm not saying for a second we want power over people. It is power from within. But if we all united, we would bring up the ones that can't or don't feel that they can. We would just have this united presence. It's not enough now. Enough. It's not okay anymore. That's not happening. We're not putting up with it. And I know that my husband is very much the opposite of my father, and there are a lot of men out there who support us as well. But if we all had that physical presence about us in an energetic form that was enough is enough, it would be unstoppable. And that's where we come, that's where it comes about, by the self-acceptance that I'm not buying into the crap anymore. I'm not buying into what you say. I'm not buying into what you're trying to flog me on the television. I'm not buying, unless it suits you and unless that's what you want to do. But do it for you, not anybody else. I'm not buying into the rubbish anymore. I'm doing me and my life my way. And if we all stood energetically united like that, it would change overnight, I reckon.
Yeah, and I think, and one small way that we can do that from where we are is having conversations like we're having right now, because I've spoken to a lot of women in the series we've done, and we've all spoken about different things, but there's a lot of unity in what we've spoken about too, and the threads that have come through. And one of the main things that have come through for me, and it'd be interesting to see what everyone else has when they've watched the whole series, is that women need to be women and stop trying to be like men.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because it's not in, it's like swimming upstream. It's not who we are, and we have to also, it would be really helpful if we could all get over the common belief that feminine or anything feminine is weak. It is actually powerful beyond imagination. If it even comes down to the biology, XX, everyone starts as an XX, then it becomes an XY. But the feminine energy is creative energy, and that's not saying anything about gender. It is just the feminine energy is creative energy, and masculine supports that, and they together in balance they could create utopia on the world. And we all have feminine and masculine energy, but the feminine has been squashed or told it's wrong, or squashed down in men to the point where they're really struggling. But we need to get over the common held belief that weakness, that femininity or feminine energy is weak. It is so not the case. And it starts, that's one of the fundamental things that we can, we all know crying, having a good cry is a very powerful thing. It restores your equilibrium to an extent, and the common belief that we're wrong as well, that we're somehow unclean, dirty. All the swear words are in the derogatory words of female words, and it's really pervasive. But it's if we can just start with the small things and start with ourselves, it will have a ripple effect and a flow-on effect to those around us and to the collective.
I think that's a really important thing before we wrap up, is to talk about languaging and how we language our own selves and our opinions of ourselves. What are the words that you would suggest that we should use about ourselves, and the words that maybe we should delete from our vocabulary that do bring us down and we don't even think about it? I know at the start you said, my husband lets me, and I wonder if that woman actually even thinks that she needs her husband's permission, or it's something that we've just languaged for so long that we allow ourselves to believe it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the words I really love the word goddess. I think that we use God all the time. We could use goddess, and it doesn't. My sister says, but her image is middle-aged women in flowing purple gowns, and I said, well, so what? If that's the case, I really love the word goddess. I think we are there. There's the goddess and God and goddess, and they're both is equally as powerful when they're in balance. I really don't like the swear words that are, I can't even say it. I just can't stand
the female gender.
The female genitalia and the female gender, that everything that is bad has a female connotation or a word for it, and it makes me really angry and if we could turn those, just use an alternative. I can't think of any right at the moment other than the obvious one. Yeah. But
it is something that we need to think about.
Yes, and even in our language of ourselves, buying into the weight issue. Pardon me. I'm fat. Like when you get a group of women together, it doesn't take long before the weight issue gets mentioned, or that, like, you've no idea how many times I brush my hair just to sit for this interview. Well, does it really matter? Does it matter? Does it make me more or less of a person if my hair's sticking out? Or, it really doesn't matter. We need to get over the appearance.
And does it make your message less powerful?
Exactly. And I've been guilty of judging people. And one of the very big lessons I had was as a woman when I was taking my girls to school years ago in Melbourne. And she walked in front of me and she had a beautiful figure. And of course I was brought up with a mother who had weight issues, so therefore I had weight issues, except I didn't really at the time. I was all in here. And I thought, oh, what a beautiful figure, isn't that lovely? About a week later I found out she had breast cancer. And I think, well, really, that's that whole judgment thing, is we seem to all think that everybody's got it better than us, or doing it better than us, or all their shit together, or that we're also worried about what other people think, and they can only base what they think of us on the snapshot that they've had of us for the time that they've known us. And it could be the person in the checkout, standing next to the checkout. You might have been like me yesterday. I felt like death. I felt really, really unwell yesterday, and I know I came across as grumpy, but I was feeling really unwell at the supermarket. I just didn't have it in me to have a conversation. But you don't know what people are going through in any given moment of any, that you come across. So you can only form an opinion on a snapshot of them. You don't know the real them. So cut them some slack and think, maybe they are having a bad day. Maybe it's nothing about you. There's also that self-centeredness, or what have I done that makes, what don't they like me? God forbid, it might not even be about you. And it most of the time isn't.
My husband and I, whenever we're on a highway and see someone rushing past or someone with road rage that, triggers it, we will always turn to each other and say, we don't know where they're rushing to. We don't know what's on the other side that they need to get home. And it's not our place to judge them for it, because they may, their partner could be having their child right now. Their grandparent could be on their last breath. It's not, their child could be, being deemed that they feel unsafe. It's not our place to judge, because we don't know.
We don't know, and we will never know. And around here where I live in East Gippsland, we have had the hideous fires. And I got the irrits the other day because people were going really, really slow on the way. I wasn't in a hurry, mind you, but I just didn't hurry up and get out of the way. And on the way home, I thought, I nearly slapped myself. I thought, oh my God, how do I know what they've been through? My house is saved, is safe. They got very, very close. But I feel traumatised, and I didn't live through what the people who lost everything did. And I think, well, who are you to just let people be? You don't know what it even took for them to get up and into that car that day. Just leave each other be. Everybody, we just don't know. We can only make an assumption on a snapshot, and that snapshot doesn't sum up that person. That person's worthy of more than your opinion on that snapshot. It's just, if we could just let that go,
Vicky, it's been amazing to meet you today. What is one piece of advice that the women watching you would like them to have and take with them after hearing you today?
I would just so love them to accept themselves as they are, warts and all, and not apologise for any single aspect about themselves. They are perfectly okay just as they are.
If our viewers would like to continue this conversation or talk to you more about what we've spoken about today, where can they find you?
Well, my website's www.7ladiesempowerment.com. I'm sort of in the transitioning or changing it at the moment, but it is what it is at the moment. On there, I'm launching a membership site actually on International Women's Day. And my email's 7ladies1@outlook.com.
Do you have a Facebook page or no?
Yes, Facebook page is 7 Ladies Empowerment.
Beautiful. And I will tag that in the description. So if you would like to follow Vicky, pop over to her website or pop over to her Facebook page. Vicky, you'll stay around and answer anyone's questions that come after our session today?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for joining us, and it really has been a pleasure to meet you, and we're looking forward to our next session. Bye.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.